Welcome back into the Packers Corner. Schmitty, Dad, new low for the pod, my dad says before we get recording even here. It might be a tough one on us tonight, guys. I'll save thoughts and comments till after we get the intro here. Maybe that'll pep us up. We'll see you guys on the other side.
Winning isn't everything, but it's the only thing. In our business, there is no second place. Either you're first or you're last.
It was named after Vince Lombardi. You play in Green Bay. As important as it is to any other team, it means more to us.
When he walked into the meeting, he looked us right in the eye. He said, "Gentlemen, we're going to relentlessly chase perfection."
My first thought was on any play with my arm strength. I may not let anybody know this, but my first thought was home run. On every play. On every play.
He did what? Fires into the end zone. Caught! Touchdown! No!
Well, there was not much banging the drum all day on Monday night here. Schmitty, why don't we start off with you? Do you have a ray of sunshine for us here? Or what do you make of the Packers' 10-7 loss to Philadelphia on Monday night?
We saw Jordan Love throw 20 completions against the Pittsburgh Steelers just a couple weeks ago, right? That offense.
That was electric.
That was the coolest thing we've seen maybe offensively this year. And now the last 2 weeks just putting absolute duds on the scoreboard. And truthfully, I expected, aside from what my prediction for the game was, it was very quickly you realized what kind of game we were in, that it was going to be one of just those slogs. Offensively, that first drive, we tried to run the ball, and we were effective. At least I thought, and Jordan has some bad turnovers. That fumble is just inexcusable that he tried to throw that ball. Our defense is keeping us in these games, and so it's tough to swallow. I wasn't, after the game, I wasn't like totally dejected, truthfully, because our defense played so well, and they have been. It's just this offense. It's just mystifying that we have performances like this. Aaron Banks, Hobbs, probably just duds for money that we spent this offseason. Guys are not it. The fact that we brought in Aaron Banks at a left guard when we had an all-pro caliber guy in Elton Jenkins, and we couldn't help ourselves but have to move him to other positions. He was just fine at left guard. We didn't need to make that. So now the poor kid's injured. I don't know how many more injuries we can sustain as a group with losing Tucker last week. I just want Gar to just put me. I want to swim with the fishes, Gar. Please just move it over to him, and so I can.
Well, typically he's got a little bit of balance for us here. If we're down, he's up, and we can bring it all together. Dad, with what you were saying before we got the live action rolling here, I'm not too encouraged that way. Well, walk me through where you're at after this game.
I have nothing to offer you, gentlemen, but blood, sweat, toil, and tears as long as Mr. LeFleur is coaching this outfit. Let me just get into it a little bit here. With 11 minutes to go in the game, the score 3-0. We have the ball across midfield, and we scheme up the best play of the game, and we get Christian Watson with a reception, our longest play of the game, down to the 10-yard line, except Ding Dong covers up the tight end. Griff, we talked about this. That has to be a play that you knew you were going to bring out at a key time when you needed it. You have to have rehearsed it. You have to have discussed it. And you don't have a receiver on the team who knows where to line up. What's more...
Well, and in Bo Melton's defense, they've had him playing cornerback, but who's that fall on? That's right back to the head coach. And they gave Melton more targets than Christian Watson.
On the 4th and 1, where we fumbled, We also covered up the tight end on the other side of the field. So this is ineptitude on the behalf of the head coach. We talked about this, Griff. I go, I don't remember watching you in college for 4 years when a wide receiver covered up a tight end. I don't remember it once in Division III college football. I said, how is that? And he said, because in spring ball, if you do it once, you get your ass reamed and you never do it again. So they have tuned out LeFleur. They're not, I mean, good grief, for a guy who spends so much time trimming his beard to the minute detail, you'd think he could spend enough time on the details of the football game to get his team to line up. I have lost complete and you boys in the podcast knows I have been behind this guy. I have supported him through thick and thin. My everlasting plea to you is, if we win a few more games, what faith do you have that this thing is not going to rear its head at the worst possible time in the playoffs? We've seen it already. We've seen it in the NFC Championship. We've seen it at home against the 49ers. This guy he hasn't got it, Schmitty. You know, what would Ben Johnson call there? What would Kevin O'Connell call? We're gonna run the same inside zone play we've run 4 times. The other team knows what it is. This is where your head coach can help you out. You come with a play they don't expect with the game. How about a play action play? And you go down the field. He has no imagination, boys. He has nothing. He has not got that extra level. Listen, we congratulate Coach LeFleur. He's come in, done a nice job for 7 years, lifted us out of the McCarthy era when the game kind of got a little bit past Coach McCarthy, and we needed a new innovation. But I've lost faith. He may win some more games. We may get in the playoffs, but he's coached now at Green Bay. This is his 7th year. Holmgren stayed for 7 years. Lombardi was there for 9. They need a new voice. And I got the plan if you want to hear it, but maybe we should save that for later.
Well, let's tease that for now.
I would love this plan.
I'm curious if we have any LeFleur defenders. You know, I saw Derek already going back and defending LeFleur on our previous video. So I don't know if he's being a little bit of a contrarian there. Obviously, you could do worse than a Matt LeFleur in the NFL. But Schmitty, are you willing to kind of continue this charade long term? I just don't know where the long term future is. Where we've been up and down with this guy, right? We're spoiled as Packer fans, so I think we should contextualize all that. But it doesn't feel like this is the guy to get us to the promised land. Am I wrong there?
I mean, there have been times when you're like, this guy's a genius. Remember us getting 2 victories with Malik Willis. I mean, and that's at the hands of Matt. So it's in there. It's in there. It has been. We've seen flashes. Remember the gold zone? We got inside the 20. So Matt knows how to scheme things up. Last night, and that's why I'm not totally dejected. There was just so many mistakes at inopportune times. In a game like this where your defense is playing so well, we just could not keep ahead of the sticks. We would just silly penalties. So Matt, for me right now, it would have to be an absolute abomination to finish the rest of the year. Like, we would have to be finished last in the division for me to be like, yep, Matt's got to go, because I mean, we've only played one division game thus far, and so there's a lot of meaningful football yet to be played. We've been holding teams to minimal points. I think there was a graphic last night. I think we've allowed 6 points in the first quarter this entire year.
But that's kind of a condemnation of the effort that LeFleur has been able to summon for us on the offensive side of the ball. And
so, Griffey, you guys are, if you guys want to hate on Matt at this point, I'm okay. It's because you've heard it come from me too about Matt and some of the stuff that he does that just makes you want to pull your hair out. But he's banked a lot of good faith with a lot of people, even me, even us, where we've talked badly on him. He deserves it'd have to go so badly for him not to get another go at this. I'm more upset with Goody maybe at this point with what I talked about, our offseason acquisitions. Matt's not first on the chopping block for me.
Well, there's plenty of blame to go around, but I think the frustrating thing is some of these errors that have been pain points for us is when we evaluate Matt LeFleur seem pretty fixable. You know, if you got an injured kicker that you can't line up for a 57-yard field goal, and you got another guy that's got a 61-yarder he just kicked the other week, maybe we put the injured guy on the IR and let the healthy guy trot out there for a couple weeks. That seems plausible. That seems fixable. When we call timeouts late in the second half when we're losing, I don't think we had an egregious one this game for once, but we've seen patterns like that repeat over and over again. A lot of those things seem fixable at first. And as you said, Dad, we're 7 years in now. And when you see the same mistake over and over again, at some point you lose faith that it's going to be fixed. And I think that's the sour note that's striking with me. Is that kind of where you're at too, Dad?
Well, I got a theory for Schmitty that he's going to really like. I had time to ponder this and really scratch my temples here. Now, first of all, I don't hate Matt LeFleur. I think he's probably a wonderful human being. I think, you know, he has gone out of his way to give coaches chance after chance after chance, to almost to a fault. Not almost to a fault, to a fault. It's a production business, and you've got to get the job done. And here's what happened. LeFleur was very successful when he came in with your boy, Schmitty, number 12. And I'm beginning to understand now some of the odd looks that Aaron Rodgers used to give and does give. He is a perfectionist. He is not going to let any details slip. He is on your rear end, and I have criticized him for his body language, but I get it now. Nobody's going to line up in the wrong spot. Nobody's going to run the wrong route. Nobody's going to miss the hand signal and not get the open play. And so with LeFleur, when he had a quarterback who was on top of the details, he didn't have to be the detail guy. He didn't have to be the bad guy, so to speak, the bad cop. And clearly LeFleur cannot be the bad cop because he's not getting the results out of the players. And Jordan Love doesn't seem to be that guy. Jordan Love is regressing. And I put a lot of it on LeFleur. It would be very easy to get this guy on track. Griff, Schmitty, we've talked about it every game. When you go under center, don't run the ball every time. Once in a while, go under center, fake it into the gut of the guy, go over the middle and throw the ball 15 yards down the middle of the field to whoever, and let's go and get some rhythm and help your quarterback get untracked a little bit. So now that Aaron Rodgers isn't there to take care of the details have slipped to an extent where I don't know. I just don't trust the guy to get it right, especially when it comes to a big game in the playoffs, between details, between lining up, between strategy, between timeouts, between holding guys accountable to catch the football. Now, here's the answer, boys. It's very simple. The Vikings had a fella by the name of Mike Tomlin on their staff, but they let him get out of there, and he went on to win a couple Super Bowls for the Steelers. They had a guy named Tony Dungy on their staff, and they let him out of there, and he went to Indianapolis and won a couple Super Bowls, or won a Super Bowl. We have a guy named Jeff Hafley who's going to be a head coach in the NFL, and he's going to be highly successful. If I'm the owner of this team, Jeff Hafley is coaching the ball club next week. And we thank Matt very much for his time and his efforts and for elevating us and for the 7 years he put in. And we do not let Jeff Hafley out of town. And if I'm wrong, I'll be happy to eat crow. But the only way this ends, Schmitty, is after we win 4 or 5 out of the next 8 games, make it to the playoffs, and throw up all over our shoes in the playoffs.
Well, I think this is certainly a point that we'll have to look back and reflect on and see how it all comes to pass here. Playoffs. We're talking about playoffs. Let's just win a game here, right? I think that would be a good feeling. Maybe quell some of our anxieties here. The other thing is I am going to defend Jordan Love a little bit here. He had about 60 yards of drops. They had a couple plays called back, as you mentioned. And I think your point is right that he is not going to get on guys' rear ends as much as maybe Aaron Rodgers would have. It just doesn't seem like that's his personality, and I don't know if he quite has the gravitas for all of that. So does that lead to things not getting fixed? Because it doesn't seem like you said LeFleur is that guy either. I don't know. Somebody's got to figure it out that we need a higher level of attention to detail. So I don't know where that's going to come from. But I think from a strictly performance standpoint, it certainly wasn't Jordan Love's best game, but I wasn't super angry with his performance. What did you think, Schmitty?
Yeah, neither was I. Like you said, with how the game was being played, I think Jordan had 12 yards right on 2 completions going into maybe halfway through the second quarter. Jalen Hurts didn't do much better at that point in the game. They were both under 50 yards, I think. He had that one bad fumble. He didn't need to do that. That certainly set us back.
No.
But aside from that,
and then when you got a coach, Schmitty, that's calling out plays so predictable that the other team is calling them out at the line of scrimmage. That's Griffey, the other thing that's not helping the kid out.
I agree, but Jordan has checks. Jordan's now graduated in Matt's offense where Jordan can check to anything that he feels that he needs to. I know they're calling
that's a fair criticism
on every down. So Jordan needs to recognize that these guys were dialed up. I think media today, it was like the Packers run on second down damn near every time. Like everyone knows we're about to run the ball on second down. It's so predictable. And so Jordan is a product of Matt in the sense that if Matt is going to feed him to the wolves on certain downs, what is Jordan to do? The second down piece. Like I really want to say that Jordan is excluded in a lot of this offensive criticism. Did he miss some? He missed some open guys last night, and Troy and Buck they pointed it out too. Like it was very obvious. So Jordan, I think as he matures, sure, would I love to see him get on the rear ends of some of these offensive wide receivers and tight ends in practice and get to that detail oriented, just heady player like Rodgers was as he got later in his career. Yeah, you would love that. Jordan's a little softer spoken, it appears. And he probably just, the gravitas, it's not his deal maybe just yet. But Jordan for me is just fine. And it really pains me to say, like, Jordan and Matt, I was okay last night. Like there wasn't something in me fire burning that, Hafley needs to be our coach next week. Look, the Eagles are the best team in the league. Right now, the Eagles, to me, are the best team in the league. They can fare these types of games. And so look to next week, and then maybe we're singing a different tune with this Giants game coming up.
Schmitty says to Packers Nation, RELAX is what I'm hearing. Dad, I don't see any reaction or relaxing from your facial expressions over there. The other thing I want to point out with Jordan Love is he was pressured on about 40% of dropbacks and had guys in his face all night, and now we have Elton Jenkins out. This might not get easier. It might continue to be painful, Dad.
I don't know what reality I'm living in. I feel like the world's been flipped upside down. I've got Schmitty being the voice of reason for me. And I'm out here on this hyperbolic rant here, ready to let the whole thing go right down the tubes. But I must say, Schmitty, the Eagles are not the best team in the NFC. The Rams and Seattle are just on a terror. The Eagles can't run. The offense we saw the Eagles run in this game has been their problem all year. They've been up and down on offense. Good Lord, Sam Darnold. Watch out. I'm glad the Vikings don't have them because I think they'd be Seattle. But we are so far behind. Look what Seattle did to the Cardinals, who we barely limped by and beat. So we got a lot of good teams emerging in the NFL. And now the Bears are ahead of us in the standings, and the Vikings are nipping at our heels. And I just, oh boy, think of it this way: the 4 games we did not win are by a total of 9 points. And your coach cannot scheme you to win one of those 4 games by doing something to get you over the top with detail orientation, with play calling, with strategy, with firing up, getting your quarterback on track. And just lastly here, the other thing, and everybody knows I love Jordan Love. I've probably been his biggest apologist on this podcast. He cannot see the field at this point in time. He's got Luke Musgrave in the last game wide open for a 50-yard play. Griff, we saw it this week. He goes to scramble, looking right down the middle of a field at Romeo Dobbs, 20 yards in the middle of the field, wide open. I don't know how he's being coached, what he's being mentored by LeFleur, but he is regressing, and it's just not a good look out there right now. So, yeah, I guess I'm not very sanguine about our chances right now, but hopefully, in the week, the NFL is a strange league. We'll all feel different.
I know just the thing.
I put my line in the sand right here that I called for LeFleur to be gone. We'll look back at this date and see who's right and who's wrong.
And this is your call. You're sticking to that. You're anchored in. This isn't knee jerk. This is point of no return.
No, point of no return.
Wow. Well, I know something that'll cheer you up, Dad. Let's talk a little bit about the Vikings and their quarterback situation. What do you have for us on thoughts there? I think that'll perk you up a little bit.
I can't be perked up.
It's not possible?
No, I do. I'm not happy that I've come to this point on LeFleur. I would love to be able to support LeFleur and feel like there's a chance. He's not going to get us to the Super Bowl, but yes. Okay, the Vikings should have kept.
Are you happy about what you're seeing from number 9 in purple and white?
I've almost done a role reversal there. The Viking fans are all over the poor guy. I mean, he's a rookie court. What did you expect? What did you expect from this kid? I mean, you idiot Viking fans who said, get rid of Sam Darnold. We want the rookie. He's going to be the greatest thing since Butterbeer. He may end up still being okay. I see some talent there. But he's going to have mistakes, and he's going to have ups and downs, and it's just to be expected. I can't believe the Viking fans who are all over his case after, four or five starts?
His top receiver let him down a couple times. He hit 18 right in the chest in the end zone on one. So you can expect that guy to help him out. I thought that you really are glum today. I thought that was going to get you pretty excited. There's no hope.
He had to talk about Matt LeFleur right away. He's just so
he couldn't take the softball I tossed up to him there, huh?
Hang down your head, Tom. Hang down your head, Tom Dooley. Hang down your head and cry. Hang down your head, Tom Dooley. Poor boy, you're bound to die.
Wow. Talk about toaster watch here, Schmitty. I got something that's going to make me feel a little glum. I got to let you rant and riff for a little bit on Caleb Williams.
Yeah, there's no toaster time in Chicago right now, is there? These guys, last week I said there's a storm of brewing in the Midway. They are so excited about Ben Johnson and what he has done to this locker room. I mean, there's games this year for the Bears that have been close and could have gone either way. And I think it truly is the Ben Johnson effect that they've been able to.
There you go. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah.
We got a guy who makes a difference. We got a guy who mires us in the mud.
Rodgers hit a lot of inefficiencies of our teams. I'll go to my grave with that. I believe strongly that Aaron made a lot of things right with Matt LeFleur's first few seasons. I've said that many times over. But Chicago, Griffey, 6-3 now. They come back they beat the Giants so much so that Dable gets fired because it was a second loss by losing double digits with less than 4 minutes to play this year. The Bears are a scary operation because they have buy-in, and they have buy-in belief that this is actually something tangible in front of them, that they could have playoff aspirations when not a lot of people before the season started believe that they could. And as I said previous, all these division games that are going to come up still in the NFC North. The Bears play the Vikings on Sunday. Bears roll the Vikings. The Bears are on a rocket path then The Bears at 7-3 is a scary thing. You got games with the Lions. It's a really good division, and the Bears are finally a part of it. I love Roma Dunze. That defense the defense is shaky. They have decent performances, but they've given up a lot of points and have looked bad at times. They signed, but what do they do? Ryan Poles, and he's done some yo-yo things. He brings in Gardner Johnson, right? A guy that wasn't beloved in a lot of locker rooms. He had an awesome performance over the weekend with, I think, 2 sacks, a forced fumble. Like, they're getting play out of guys that were throwaways, and that is the sign of a good organization putting their players in good spots. And they did it for a kid that just joined their team. So Ben Johnson has it. And I'm really, really worried that this is a team to be reckoned with for many years to come. Caleb Williams is the franchise. He had that arm talent he is firing left to right. He can roll right, roll left. That ball is coming out. It's humming. It's like, it reminds me of Mr. 12, the way that ball flings out of his wrist. So
Fool's gold, Schmitty. Fool's gold.
it doesn't look like
30th
that
in
right
catchable ball rate still for Mr. Williams. I'm not.
Nice. I'm glad you had that.
Mirage.
Nice. You were you had some ammo as I got my little rant going. Good for you. Those will be a couple.
That was before last week, though. I didn't tell you that was before. I don't know where if the numbers have altered drastically after another week here, but
hey, playing them 2 times in 3 weeks, that's going to be a fun little stretch.
Well, I hope so. I hope it is. We've seen you guys bust out the toasters. I'll be busting out the toasters if Caleb Williams torches us. That's what it'll take from me. Now those Giants that the Bears came back against. That's who we have next up on the calendar, of course, here. 3 weeks ago, they beat these Philadelphia Eagles we just lost to. They've got a bit of a firebrand themselves at quarterback there. What do you make of that matchup, Dad? What do you think that one's going to look like for us?
Well, what I know for sure is we got 8 games left. 5 of them are against the division, 2 against Schmitty's Red Hot Bears. I don't know. How can we beat those guys, Schmitty, the way you talk about them? 2 of them against the Vikings, but we always lose 2 at the Dumpty Doo Dome. And Detroit on the road, and then we play the New York Giants, the Denver Broncos, and Baltimore. How many wins we got in there?
All of them. Run the table.
Okay, Derek.
I'm bringing out some Rodgers-isms tonight here, huh?
Yeah. I mean, I guess maybe this is one of the wins. If it isn't, oh boy,
it's gonna be rough if it isn't.
Can you imagine me
Schmitty,
next week?
Are you asking for LeFleur's head if we don't win this one?
If we lose, if we lose next week's episode, I'm gonna have a bomb strapped to my chest, and you guys are gonna have to convince me that life is that we're gonna be just okay. And if your answers aren't good enough, Packers Corner is gonna cease to exist with your old pal, your shirtless pal. He will be no longer if we lose on Sunday.
This is a comedic show. Department of Homeland Security. Don't take note here.
Yes.
No.
Disclaimer.
It'll be fake. I promise.
Asterisks. Everything needed there.
Yeah.
Mainly because it isn't worth that over LeFleur, Schmitty. Don't put your life in your hands over LeFleur. It's not worth it.
Gar right now is a week ahead of me. If we end up losing next week, it's gonna be a tough day. I'm gonna order like 5 industrial toasters. I don't even want to get to that point. Knowing watching last night, I was like, that okay. I believe what happened. I'm a little worked up. If we lose to the Giants, knowing that Dable just got let go, which actually doesn't bode well for us because now the locker room, I do buy into those types of things. They fire the head coach and then the team rises up to the occasion. So that scares me a little bit. What's in our benefit though, is that Mr. Dart, the rookie phenom quarterback, likely maybe will be out with a concussion. And then you have to just dial up on Russell Wilson. And that is just going to be so sweet. The guy's going to have a crap in his pants with Micah chasing him down for 4 quarters. I will look forward to that. Problem now, we talked about Elton Jenkins being injured. We have a good pass rush. They, I think, have a better front, just in totality, with Dexter, with those edge rushers that they keep their first round picks. They just love spending it on edge rushers, and they've actually hit on theirs. They don't have any Rashawn Garys on their defensive line. These guys actually perform and have been, okay? That's something to key in on. I'm worried. Other than that, the Giants team isn't anything special. We're 7.5-point favorites. I think the over/under is 44.5 or something like that. Griffey, if you prediction time here,
Yeah,
the Packers.
let's have it.
The Packers are going to score 9 points, and the Giants are going to score 3. And we're going to take this on to the following week, and we play the Vikings. So a 9-3 victory.
Wait, is that with the McManus missed extra point? How do we get to 9?
Yeah, we missed an
a block maybe a block.
I'm gonna go 3 safeties, and then we gave him a 19-yard field goal. That's how we got to 9.
Oh boy.
Yep, that's how it's gonna happen, my friend.
Well, I'm glad to hear that.
LeFleur?
What's that?
And that's going to make you feel better about LeFleur, Schmitty? That's almost worse than losing.
Gar.
I'm glad that Schmitty is holding on tightly to that thread that is keeping it all together for him there mentally. Keep holding the line there, buddy. Dad, I think the guy that I would want to see the least for the Giants is Jameis Winston. Bring on Russell Wilson.
Yeah. No, they're not going to play Russell Wilson. If Dart can't go, it will not be Russell Wilson. It'll be Jameis Winston. And if you
think?
Oh yeah, they've already talking about it on all the talking heads. I've heard it going on.
Oh no, I'm nervous now.
If it's Jackson Dart or Jameis Winston, flip a coin. I don't know. I don't trust Matt LeFleur to figure it out. This is where I'm at, Schmitty. I can't. I've been fooled too many times. I picked the Packers to win in every game so far this year. I don't know if I'll be picking them again, but I'm going to pick them this week for some stupid reason, because if they can't do it this week, then I won't pick them again.
We might not have another opportunity to pick them the rest of the way if we don't pick them this week. Yeah, I think I got to be on board here too. I have lost track of our records pretty badly here. I apologize, but I don't know if I have more than one correct the whole way here. It's maybe a couple. I think I got the one when I picked against us in Pittsburgh, even at Acrisure, Schmitty. So it's been brutal for me. We'll have to get some credit out to whoever is having the most success so far this year. But I think just like what I said there, if we don't pick them this week, I don't know when we do next. So hopefully we get a win. We build some momentum enough so that we can, give them the clean sweep, get those G's across the bottom of the screen again next week. But wow, I think this is a new low in the podcast era for us. I guess at least we get to commiserate together here. Schmitty, do you have any words of wisdom for Packers Corner faithful? Or inspiration? If you got inspiration, I'm sure they would take it.
Oh, goodness. Well, I need to just help our friend here in the center. I need to provide him with some safety, just to let him know that everything's going to be okay, that Matt is going to put up 40 points against the Giants, and then we're wondering what we talked about this whole podcast episode. That's what needs to happen. 9-3, haha, funny on me. I mean, goodness gracious, if Matt LeFleur can't put together 24 points on Sunday, we're back to having a problem. And maybe I talked about halfway getting a head coaching job, and it wouldn't. Hey, I'd be okay if he ended up being our head ball coach if Matt keeps on this trajectory. So, Packers Corner faithful, did you think you were going to get this episode where Gar is he's with the fishies and I'm like treading water still? We're just in a really interesting spot in the season. We didn't think we were going to see this, especially with how we started the year. You probably have to win 3 of the next 4. If you do that, we're back to normal, baby. And if we did win 3 of those 4, it probably was because Jordan and Matt figured it out.
We'll try to keep taking them 1 week at a time, but this one we took on the chin a little bit, of course. Dad, do you have a cheese for us for the road?
I have an extremely moldy piece of blue cheese.
Apt.
Aptly situated for the New York Football Giants, who have colors of blue, red, and white, if I'm not mistaken. And I would like nothing better than for what Schmitty said to come to fruition, 3 out of the next 4. The only problem is that means LeFleur's still on the staff, and he's just going to rip our hearts out in the playoffs again with some shenanigans. Would you please, Matt LeFleur, okay, closed circuit Matt LeFleur, this week, will you sit down at your telestrator and look at all the trick plays designed by Ben Johnson during his time with the Detroit Football Lions? Certainly, there are 2 or 3 plays out of there you can pull out to use when we need a play to win a game and get the job done, and just copy one of those plays and put us over the top one time by being innovative as a coach. And maybe, just maybe, you'll restore a little shred of my faith, because I'm a longtime Green Bay Packer fan, and I don't want to feel this way about my Packers. But right now, my feeling is, do not let Jeff Hafley out of town to go coach somebody else to a Super Bowl, and then we're stuck with this guy who can't get us past the first playoff game.
Schmitty, when we were in Pittsburgh, we kind of were smirking about the fans being ready to get rid of Mike Tomlin there. We got it right in our own backyard again here now. So I guess we can relate a little bit. We've been spoiled, but I mean, the title last week was LeFraud. Is it time to get rid of LeFleur? I don't know. I'm going to have to do the same thing again this week. That's all I got. So LeFluke. Yeah. Well, thanks for joining me here, guys. We'll get through this together. We'll be back at it again next week. Take care.
Love you all.